You are now listening to the Key Roger W. Jones Executive Leaders podcast series. Today's episode features Lois Greisman. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for access to all of Key's online resources, including this podcast series.
It really is a wonderful time of year whenever we get to recognize our federal leaders. And this year it seems like we say it every year, it's even more competitive than the previous year. It was just extraordinary. The numbers in between the competitors are like 0.001. I mean, they're just stunning how close everything is. And we have two different levels of approval, of clearance before it actually gets to our voting panel. And the voting panel is made up of a lot of NAPA fellows and some senior folks in the field of public admin. But it's just such a pleasure to congratulate you. Let me ask you, so in terms of, you've seen a lot of excellent leaders. You're obviously an excellent leader yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about what you consider excellence in leadership to look like?
Everything. I mean, that's really what my job is about. My goal is to enable people to do the best they can, to get them the resources they can, recognizing that we work for the government, resources are always limited, but it's about creating an environment and instilling confidence where learning is paramount, where we're being agile, being flexible, operating within strategic parameters, but really instilling a sense of creativity within those parameters so that people can get the job done.
Have you ever looked back and thought, I wish I would have known this when I started my career?
I think I always look back, always try to figure out what could have been done differently. What I would like to have known everything that I know today, but that's obviously not possible. I spent a number of years in private practice before going to the federal government, and I knew I wanted to work for the federal government. What I think I didn't realize is how meaningful the work is and how collaborative the work is. And that I just didn't really appreciate when I made the move.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. That's, I actually started my career in the private sector as well. And then I was in the Navy for 23 years and now I'm back in the private sector at a university. And I kind of had the same experience. It was I found it very, very collaborative while working for the government. And in our family, in the Key family, we're very collaborative, but universities fight all the time,
Sure.
with each other. So,
sure. But government agencies occasionally have turf wars as well.
Of course. So, one of the things that we teach in our program to our leaders is, and we do a lot of SES CDP development and things like that, but we really want them to expose kind of their weaknesses and expose who they really are. And we always ask them about their toughest moment, and mainly in the context of a crucible, something that really kind of shaped you as you grew and developed. Is there one moment you can put your finger on that might have been that for you?
Well, there have been many challenging moments, needless to say. One that stands out was really the launch of the National Do Not Call Registry. We built a database and nothing quite of its ilk had ever been built before. And when we were rolling it out to the country for registration, in fact, we were so concerned that it might crash the phone system. This is in June of 2003 that we rolled it out in two segments, half of the country day one, half of the country a later day. And though we built it to size,
right.
we knew demand would be enormous, but still that moment when it opened up, just till I knew that it worked, was really a very stressful point in time.
I can only imagine. Oh my gosh. Well, and I just have one more question for you, Lois, and it's the one that you mentioned before. If you were coming to one of my classes and talking to my grad students who are in public administration, and they looked at you and said, Lois, what's the future of public admin? What's the future of leadership in the federal government look like to you? How would you describe that?
Look, there's no doubt that challenges abound for public servants these days. In all my tenure, I would say issues of trust and of integrity are sharper than they've ever been and more demanding than they've ever been. I think the future of public service, in my mind, lies in our ability as public servants to be honest, to be transparent, and to explain what we do, why we do it, and how it makes a difference in people's lives. I think that's really important.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again, Lois. We greatly appreciate your time and being willing to meet with us today.